Hey guys, Kevin Dare Productions here with the legendary, the extremely rare, the amazing 1985 Railway Series Hornby Thomas. Today is the update video on that model. What I plan on doing for the next week or so is I'm going to get one of my models and show you the progress that has happened to that model over the time of requirement. Now, I don't go into specifications on how exactly I modify these trains because it is a complicated procedure. What I do know is that I have done a lot of work to this little guy, and he is not even that big. He's only about 7 inches long and weighs only 1 pound. But yet I just can keep going. Now, the model didn't originally look like this. It also had a red-lined back. A lot of people probably are wondering, isn't that what the Railway Series variants had once? Yep, and a little someone made me drop him, and it was like, poof. So, straight on eBay, didn't even know it was. But then again, this is the best looking one. I will put some tape on the back, or red automotive pinstriping will probably get the best look. But it's not really what's on the outside that makes this model so interesting. It's what's happened on the inside. The inside of the model has been completely revamped since reacquirement. As you can see, new wires were actually soldered of the model to allow a DCC chip to be it. Now this is not a DCC chip. It is a DCC input chip. It basically allows the engine to run on DC only, but at much better speed. The motor's been restored, and everything is functional and will still run. There hasn't been much modification, albeit that it can be fitted with a decoder. However, it's longer than the base. What I could do, and I might do this in the future, is I'm going to take, because I have a spare one, and I will likely cut that one up to length, and I will attach it differently to Thomas, but I don't have any ambition to do that at the moment because he's not running on DCC, and nobody really sees this. But the way the model functions is very much the same as it was back in with oiling happening to the wheels and the drivers being oiled once a week. Now, how it goes back together is actually quite interesting. Usually this might be nightmarish, but I'm gonna be like 1, 2, 3. And okay, if you really thought I was gonna use a flathead screwdriver, I'm gonna use this tool and I'm gonna plunge the head off. And then the chip is fed through the wire, through it like a shaft. And hang on, oh, man. Well, I'm gonna have to do a quick repair. And what's happened, unfortunately, is that the orange wire has desoldered itself from the model. It's actually notorious for doing that. So I will have to do that in a moment. I will resolder the wire. It's not hard. In fact, my iron's right over there. I'll just go. In fact, maybe I'll do it on camera while I'm at it. I'll show you how this works. And I actually have shown people the decoder. So I'll get my iron. And I'm going to move the body out of shot so nothing gets damaged. So this is the soldering iron, cleaned up and ready. Normally I don't, and the way I soldered this was I just used a simple soldering, I actually used a different soldering iron to put it together. I'm actually going to do this real quick. You will see this, and then we'll get back to specifics because it's getting warm. And people probably are like, why is my bit so clean? What I do is I take junk plastic and I melt it around the tip, and then I peel it off after the thing's cool. And it takes any grime off, so that's why my tip is so good. I wanted to get a soldering gun, but this is a simple fix. Now, so I am going to tin the wire. I'm just going to directly solder it back in, and then we'll get back to the video because it's kind of derailed, no pun intended. No, it's not working. Yeah, unfortunately what happened is the solder melt. There you go. Alright, that's enough. Again, expertise. Alright, back to work, and don't worry, that's cooling. But let's get back to the video because we kind of like did something and we did like... Thomas can be a troublesome model. He can be a bit of a pain to work with, especially the content. So there's a 4-wire indirect circuit that goes in place. And I will redo the wiring likely. I could do that if I ever... I will look back on my video, and how I do this is actually quite simple. So basically, I push the circuit board out of the face. Now when I install the decoder, it's different. The decoder is a lot different. Then I close the model up and try to make sure all the wires are fed into the wire. And I'm going to try to make sure this made it. And I mean, the rare engine gets itself to modern equipment. I think it's the only modern Thomas that has a DC. It has a circuit board in it, because I know they... And then I push the... And then you'll notice the board, and then I'm going to push that back in place. I'm going to push it. And it takes a few moments to do it. So what I'll do is just get it to fit. And if it doesn't close correctly, it will not fit the face. I will take a tool and I'll plunge it. I'm going to try to plunge it. But this is the model. It takes a bit of time to take apart and put back together. So I'm going to take the shell off real quick. And there's a hack to doing that. And there you go. And there we go. I've there we go. And the model will still run. I'm just going to check it real quick. And as you can see, now I do have plans for the engine still. I'm going to add some new components to them. But mainly my update on the engine is not really the locomotive, but it is actually more for Annie and Clarabelle. Let's get this stupid battery out of the way. Now what I plan on doing is, it's a pretty early thing, but what I want to do is I want to put seats inside of them, and I'm going to show you how to take the roof off of these 040 carriages, or these 4-wheel carriages. So I take a So what you do is, because this is an update video, I show everyone a bit of the and I have taken the roofs off, and I better be quick, my battery here, but I will show everyone, and then I'm going to probably cut the video. Because what I plan to do with the model at some point before the next club exhibition, where we try to solve the decoder problem. I know Mr. Lacko could probably do some. Greg Lacko, who is a very bright young engineer, person, he's in his early 20s. That guy expertise is in brass, DCC, and everything, but I think he'll know what Thomas needs to to get him running on the track. But I will try to take the roofs off really quickly. My phone might die. Oh no. 10-20 minute videos, like how the hell do I do it? Okay, that should be one. Okay. And I've got the money to do the convert. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get go on Amazon from some money I earned that I got with a gift. Now, and then I'm going to glue them into the cars so they got realistic. I'm not going to show you, but I will do a video how I install them into the carriages, and I want to do lights as well, but the thing is, it's very hard to hide a battery in this engine in this carriage. But Thomas will get Annie and Clarabelle, and maybe a driver figure will even escort him. They won't be like, but at the moment, we would like to thank you for viewing this presentation, and have a good day, everyone. Thomas enjoys your scene. I enjoyed working on this model and prepare to see the next update in about a month.